Happy New Year all. This is the Elite Gamer here with a bit of a different review for you this time. I have a slight break for now for reviewing gaming. Enough of that. This will be my first my first movie / audiobook review on Jurassic Park. Sometime in '93, Jurassic Park was born. Yep, the film officially 65 million years in the making, with the lead stars of Sam Neill, Dr. Alan Grant. I forget who played Ellie Sadler. Mr. Hammond was also portrayed by David Attenborough's brother, Richard Attenborough, as John Hammond. Samuel L. Jackson, who would later end up playing Mace Windu in the Star Wars films, ended up playing Ray of John Arnold, whatever he's called. And my particular favourite character in this movie, the tyrannical technician of Jurassic Park's computers, Dennis Nedry, portrayed by the brilliant Wayne Knight. Obviously the movie had a lot going for it, because it actually gave us the greatest thing of all, actually seeing practically to our eyes fully grown dinosaurs on the screen. Originally they were actually going to do this with stop motion footage, but originally, in the end, they decided not to do this. They come up sometime before they made their decision on this. Early stages of CGI graphics were invented. They then scratched the stop motion footage and went to the CGI function, which basically brought their dreams come true and made these ginormous prehistoric animals look as real time as anything, from the T-Rex to the Dilophosaurus. Some were even actually mechanical robots, but hey, they really look good with all the flesh and blood textures made in. Now, for the duration of this review, I'm actually going to be comparing differences between the movie and the audiobook. So I'm going to start with the movie. In the movie, the game warden of Jurassic Park, Robert Muldoon, he was killed by trying to outsmart a velociraptor. Gennaro, the lawyer, he's killed in a method I'm not even going to go into. Dennis Nedry was killed by the Dilophosaurus, which just basically blinded him, and then that was that. He couldn't see where he was going, and ended up being killed in the Land Rover with it. Ray Arnold, he went to turn on the power. No one ended up seeing what happened to him, but he obviously got caught by some raptor and killed off screen. So other than that, there was approximately 5 deaths in the actual Jurassic Park movie. Yet, in the novel, it was slightly over 5, but I think that really spoiled it for the duration of the actual novel. When Michael Crichton made the book, obviously he probably did his best with it, but then there's a few flaws I've noticed in the book. I'll say a few. I'll try and get them done as quick as I can, but right to the point now. Here I have the unabridged audiobook, which I lent from Southend Library. 12 CDs long. What can't speak can't lie, and this most certainly can't. As I was saying, 12 CDs long, and it's approximately 13 hours 55 minutes. Yeah, unabridged means that it goes around all the houses, doesn't miss anything vital, or does it? Because let's start. There's at the beginning of the Jurassic Park movie, right, somebody actually gets injured by a raptor, but it doesn't really go much into that. In the book, it goes right into that. The person who was injured by the raptor ends up actually having to, ending up being flying offshore from Costa Rica to some hospital. Then there was other things that happened. In the actual main epiphany of the story, interlined with the film, there's so many things that just didn't sit still with me. There's so many things I'm not happy with, and these are the things I'm going to debate. I'm going to go over you here and now. During this little novel, he made so many differences which didn't make sense, and this is what they are. Donald Gennaro, who was killed in the film, he lives in the book. He survives, and in the place where instead of Gennaro being killed by the Tyrannosaurus Rex or the juvenile, it's Ed Regis who gets killed by it. Then Robert Muldoon survives, which is another sort of, okay, that one I don't know why they've done that. I don't know why Michael Crichton done that, but that I can barely let go. The rest I can't, because it just really messes up the story. Right? For people who haven't read the book yet, I'm terribly sorry the spoilers for you, but this is absolutely true. Do you realise that in the movie, Dennis Nedry was killed inside the Land Rover with the Dilophosaurus, whereas in the novel he's blinded, ripped down the middle, and basically killed outside it. Then there's the other thing, which is the most frustrating two parts and divisions of the novel. First, John Hammond, the acknowledged brains behind Jurassic Park in the first place, he ends up dying. He dies in the book when he survived in the movie. What in the name of God were they thinking? He dies because he's killed by compies, which are poisonous little dinosaurs. He trips over and breaks his leg because he panics because he thinks he hears the sound of a Tyrannosaurus Rex screaming when it's not a T-Rex. It's his niece and nephew, Lex and Tim Murphy, playing with the computers. They somehow utilise the computers to make the sound of a T-Rex. Hammond panics and falls over, breaking his leg. He tries to get back to his bungalow and ends up being overwhelmed and killed by compies, which end up finishing him off before he can reach a safe haven. Then there's flaming Ian. Then there's Dr. Wu. In the movie he lives because he actually had it away on his toes on the boat a couple of hours or so before the crisis on Jurassic Park actually kicked off. And then last but definitely not least, there's Dr. Ian Malcolm, portrayed by Jeff Goldblum in the movie. Ian Malcolm only dies in the flaming book. He died before help came. So just answer me this, fans of Jurassic Park, novelisation, movie, whatever. Can you actually see any coordinated sense as to how they could actually carry on a book as far as The Lost World Jurassic Park by the same author, Michael Crichton, when the acknowledged brains behind Jurassic Park's been killed off, John Hammond, and can you actually see any chronological point as to how can this can even happen? How can they kill off John Hammond, and worst in the book, but most of all, how can they kill off Dr. Ian Malcolm, the mathematician, and then have him die before help comes in the first Jurassic Park novel, and then have him unanimously resurrected in the second novel? How can you do that? So what's his book saying? Oh, I've been killed by a prehistoric. Oh, I've been killed by a prehistoric what does his book say? His books say, oh, lovely. So what's his book saying? Oh, I've been killed by a prehistoric animal. I've needed a tourniquet for my leg. A tourniquet for my leg. And I've died before help came. And God took pity on me and resurrected me myself. You know, gave me the choice of reincarnation or coming back as myself for the second novel. That does not make sense. That makes about as much sense as, say, me drinking more than my body can take on board, or drinking far more than I've ever had before, keeping it going and thinking that I'm going to live, and thinking that I can drink a ridiculous amount and live, rather than end up dying of flaming alcohol poisoning. You know, that I wouldn't. And it's no different with this book. This book was brilliant up to the point when I actually read it a lot more and noticed all these differences. You know, oh my God, this book just stresses me out more than I can say. I know they say you should never compare them to be one to the other, but it's impossible not to. You know, it's time. I mean, I just don't understand them. I really don't understand them. But yeah, you know, if anyone wants to leave any comments or you know, you're perfectly entitled. You know, I'm not going to say that at all. If you want to say, if you like it, if you like what's said about Jurassic Park, the movie and the audiobook, then by all means tell me. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. Tell me anyway. You know, it's a free country. Every man, woman, and child, every man, woman, and child, including you, are entitled to your own opinions. And I'll be the last person to take that away from you. So yeah, that's my final word on Jurassic Park. That's my final word on Jurassic Park, the movie, originally conceived in 1993, and the audiobook and the unabridged copy of Jurassic Park. So with that in mind, I wish you all a happy new year for 2011, and I'll see if I can get my next game review up as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. Bye.